What's up YouTube, it's Updated TCG here, and are you going to the Milwaukee Regionals? Well, this is going to be a video for you, or maybe you're attending an upcoming local tournament, League Cup, League Challenge, whatever the case is. You want to be staying up to date with the Journey Together meta. Today we're going to be focusing on explaining all the decks in a current tier list. So if you guys are excited, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways to support the channel, and I will be forever grateful if you would do so. So let's talk about the current Journey Together format. A lot has happened. A lot of new decks have emerged to actually be better than others. If your favorite random rogue deck is not on here, it's because it actually hasn't gotten any decent result yet. So if you're a Mamoswine or whatever believer, don't shoot the messenger. These are going to be the best decks in the Journey Together format. Let's dive into it with the newcomer Joltik. The Joltik Box Deck is actually pretty good. The thing you do is you use the attack of Joltik to power up Iron Hand or Pikachu EX depending on the matchup, and you just attack. This is the easiest deck for newcomers to actually get into the game. It doesn't take that much. You go second, you of course power up an Iron Hands, power up a Pikachu, and then in late game you also have Blood Moon or of course your Lilith Clefairy EX to deal with Dragapult EX or Raging Bolt. So very easy to pilot deck, and it has come out of the woodworks with a lot of placements, even top 8s, top 16s. It's like Joltik is a legit deck throughout the world, so let it be known. It is a solid deck, and if you don't know how to play against it, you should, because it will only get more popular from here on out. Gholdengo has always been a solid archetype in this format, and you can play it with either a Dracloak or maybe even Dragapult EX combined with the Gholdengo, but mostly we see it with, of course, pure Gholdengo, which is the one price Gholdengo as a way you can offset the price trade. You use Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking to get any 2 cards on top of the deck, and then you draw them out with coin bonus. It's a very strong deck, has infinite damage output, and there's a lot of deck cards you can be toying around with. Maybe you're going for an Iron Bundle, maybe you're going for something like a Monkey Dory. Maybe you are even adding in a Scizor into the 60. It's all possible. Gholdengo is well positioned in this format, and it has shown with a lot of top 16 placements throughout its lifespan here. Now we're going to be talking about some of the strongest decks out there. Dragapult EX is very, very strong. Currently it is played with an anti-Budew package. That means a high amount of Shock, a high amount of Brock Scouting. It is prepared for Budew wars like that. There's even Monkey Dories in the 60 with Luminous Energy, so you can protect yourself against opposing Pokemon when they put damage onto yourself in the mirror match. You can put it way back onto the opponent. Whether you're playing a straight version with like Hawlucha, maybe you're having a tech card with Genesect and Tool cards to shut down A-Spec cards. It is all possible with this, but I do expect Dusknoir variants to come out of the woodworks at one point again as well. Even though the straight version of Dragapult has performed better during the last couple of regionals last weekend, I think the Dusknoir variant is being slept on currently. So this is going to be my prediction. We will see some Dusknoir variants do really well in Milwaukee. Next up, we're going to be talking about decks that are currently actually not good position. Charizard EX, I would never be touching Charizard EX in this format. You could think about adding the Terapagos build of the deck. You can think about the Terapagos build with like Noctows with Charizard. You can think about having a straight Pidgeot EX version, maybe the Dunsparce Charizard, but it has not performed at all. It's very weak to item block and has a very terrible time up against Dragapult EX. So yeah, there's that. Charizard, D tier for me. I'm also going to be putting some other cards in D tier, like Feraligatr. Even though it did win a Japanese City League, actually not a Japanese Champions League at one point, the deck is actually not well positioned, and the reason for that is that people are actually playing Gardevoir a lot in this format, and Feraligatr does not love to see that one tiny bit, so there's that. Talking about not loving to see Gardevoir, I think if we're taking a look at decks that I wouldn't touch currently, probably one of them would be the Wall deck as well. Put that also in tier D. Again, very, very, very bad matchup up against Gardevoir. Also, people have answers for this. You have Monkey Dories everywhere. So I think Wall is currently also not a pick for this upcoming event. Talking about good cards for this event is going to be Gardevoir. Gardevoir has already, solidified itself as the strongest deck in this format by winning almost all the regionals, the Master Ball leagues and all that. It has actually done so well this format. Lots of placements as mentioned overseas as well in the Master Ball League. People are also playing Gardevoir. There is, of course, Atlanta Regionals won by Gardevoir. Bilbao special event won by Gardevoir. Like everything is being won by Gardevoir. Even you might think, oh, it was not well positioned in this format. People have now found a very strong list with Brand Tonneson 60 that even actually was able to win like 2 times already. So Gardevoir being the tier S deck in the room. If you're going to Milwaukee, get your jamming towers ready, because if you're not having them, you're going to be having a bad time. Talking about Raging Bolt, I don't know. People are always like giving Raging Bolt a hard time, but I guess it makes sense. Sometimes when you're item locked, it doesn't feel good. Gardevoir is the strongest deck in the format, and you're having a very bad time against that, so I cannot put it higher up in tier B, even though I really appreciate the deck with the Noctiles, with the Jewel Seekers, with the Fan Rotom, all that good stuff that can happen with Raging Bolt right now. It is still going to be tier B for me, just because it has that terrible time against Gardevoir EX. But it's still strong. Still strong. If you're playing a tournament, definitely play a tier B or above deck, and you're going to be tanking me later. Okay, moving forward, Slowking, putting it in tier C. Technically, if you can get that Kyurem play off, you're going to be winning against Dragapult, against Gardevoir, but getting it off while being item locked, that's one different story. It's going to be quite difficult. You need to have your Kyurem raw in hand, or if the opponent Ionos it away, it's going to be difficult. If you're item locked, Slowking, that's why it also didn't perform too well, even though it comes back with some of the strongest attacks we've seen in the game. Having access to Kyurem, having access to Annihilate to actually one-shot something, having access to Regigigas up against Tera Pokemon. Everything is there, but currently it's not where I will not play that at all. What else are we going to be talking about? Froslass, also one of those decks that got a top 8 placement in Sevilla, or in Sevilla, whatever you want to call it. The Froslass is interesting, definitely with Budews, and having the item log, the Bravery Charm on the Budews, having the damage onto yourself and putting it back with Monkey Dory, having a late game Blood Moon Ursaluna, having a high amount of counter catcher. Froslass is a nice deck. I would even put it higher over, maybe it could even become a tier B deck. Is that crazy enough for me to put it in tier B? I don't know, but item lock is strong, but the problem is that people are prepared against item lock, so I'll put it in tier B and give it the benefit of the doubt. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about Blissey. Blissey is a deck that has so much HP, has a great time up against Dragapult, but has a terrible time, I would say, up against Drifloons that one-shot you, has a terrible time up against Gholdengo, has a terrible time up against Raging Bolt. I'll be putting it in tier C, unfortunately. Even though we did see that it was able to get second place at one point in the regionals, I would not be playing it for this upcoming event. Gholdengo still popular, Raging Bolt still popular, Gardevoir still around. You win against Dragapult, but Dragapult will no longer be like a crazy amount of percentage. People will swap towards Gardevoir, in my opinion. So that's why Blissey was very great for the couple of tournaments that happened before, but now with the spike in popularity of Gardevoir and also people grabbing towards decks like Raging Bolt still, I think Blissey is a very risky pick, so I'll be putting that in tier C. Moving forward, Tera Box could be actually having the time of its life currently. I think if Tera Box has to do well, it's gonna be this weekend over in Milwaukee Regionals. There's a lot of Pokemon cards you can add into here. We have Pikachu EX, you have Wellspring Ogerpon to snipe, Blood Moon for the late game, Noctowl to get any cards you want, Sparkling Crystal, Crispin combos are possible. You can even get the Cornerstone Ogerpon in there as well if you want to have a better time up against stuff like Gholdengo. Yeah, I think the deck is not bad. I think a lot of people at the beginning of the format thought this was the BDIF, but a lot of people came prepared for it with like lots of answers. But now I think Tera Box could be opening its path to actually definitely get a top 8, right? Because if people are not respecting the sniping capabilities, we no longer have bench protection. So if you're getting that Wellspring off on the first turn, that's going to be fantastic. Like Teal Dance, E-Switch, Crispin, Sparkling Crystal, it's all possible, and you can snipe and destroy entire fields with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if it end up winning the tournament as well. Hydreigon tier C for me. It's also one of those decks that it technically can get people off guard. Like you can have that counter gain. You can also play with new upper energy, then attack very easily. Colorless Tenacity can find that new upper energy, and if you do get a knockout on your board side of the board, you can instantly start using Obsidian. Using Obsidian 2 times can sometimes win you games. I know, but people can definitely play around it. Hydreigon is a very scary deck to be up against, but it doesn't get quite off the ground if you're getting item locked. Also being weak to grass means that stuff like the Teal Mask can easily hit you. So and there's also stuff like the Iron Leaves and the Joltik Box. It's a little bit too slow for me. Moving forward, Eeveelution Box, I'll put that in tier B. It is one of those decks coming back with Sylveon. You can disrupt entire fields. let the opponent get their most precious Pokemon back into their deck shuffled in. There's capabilities to attack instantly with the Eevee instantly evolving into Flareon EX, slapping a solid 280. You have a great time against Tera Box, against Gholdengo and all that, and you might have a great shot up against Dragapult. If you're using the Lily's Clefairy as well as the Sylveon, you're going to be doing miracles, mark my word. So it could also be, maybe I put it a little bit higher. I think I'll be putting it over here, like that. So Flareon EX, actually Eevee Box, don't sleep on it. These are like picks that could actually win the tournament. Moving forward, Future Box has not performed too well. I'll put that in the low end of tier C. I know Iron Hands Amping is very fun, but this deck is kind of weak to Iono. Even though you can come back with Mew EX, with Phasantipity, they can still snipe those with Scream Tails. I'm not feeling it with Future Box. I'm sorry. Moving forward, we're gonna have Zacian, also a tier C deck for me. It's one of those decks that, in theory, you can have some pressure instantly up on the field by having the the Hops Choice Band with the Pickwick Stadium card, with Snorlax in play. But you just lose against Dragapult, you lose against Gardevoir, even though you can get some early cheeky KOs with that attack of the Zacian. It's not strong enough in this format. Then continuing on, Roaring Moon actually surprised me a little bit. It surprised me a little bit, so I'm putting it in the low end of tier B for me. Roaring Moon actually comes packed with the Dunsparce package. I don't know if you've seen the list from Monterey Regionals where they got top 16 with a Roaring Moon. I think it was Raul that was able to get there with that cool unique list with the Dunsparce having E-switches, having the neutralization zone stadium. Still a video I still need to make, by the way, but Roaring Moon EX could also be surprisingly good as you come back with the vengeful fletching Roaring Moons that can deal with Gardevoir. So there is that. And Zoroark, I'd also be putting that in tier B. Believe it or not, and Zoroark is well positioned going into this event, as Zoroark is a Darkness type Pokemon. You could deal with Gardevoir. Another cool thing is if you're up against something like Poison, the Darkness stuff does not affect you with Perlicious Jungle, which is a bonus, I guess. If the opponent does not know how Zoroark works and they haven't playtested against, they can be punished quite easily. You can attack with the Ensdar Manatee to take multiple prize cards. There's the Reshiram for more damage output. The deck has already gotten itself a top 4 placement, so I wouldn't be surprised if people experimented further upon Zoroark EX. Sometimes people are adding in Hoopa EX with E-Switch to have answers up against stuff like Iron Hands and all that. I think it's being slept on currently, but I'll be putting it in tier B for now. And then Archaludon, the Poison package, I will also put that in tier B. Like, this is my ultimate tier list for this format. So if you're going to Milwaukee Regionals, first of all, Archaludon is a great deck if you want to donk people. If they start with Ralt, if they start with Budew, if they start with Dreepy, you can instantly win games, but it has not performed all too well. Even though it only has like a 5% meta share most of the time, it actually struggles with the fact that if you don't get the donk, it cannot keep up with the other powerhouses in the format. Of course, Poison also makes you sure you can play around the fact that the opponent cannot use Phasantipity to get them out of nasty situations. But yeah, I don't know. Archaludon, I think the time is not right for it quite yet. Maybe it will become better with the upcoming Destined Rival set, where it's gonna have some new tools to it with the new item card of Team Rocket. But for now, tier B for me. So if I were to be going to Milwaukee, I'd probably be playing Tera Box, because I think people are underestimating the power that Tera Box have, and a great player that can navigate the deck perfectly with the great use of the Jewel Seekers with the combination Sparkling Crystal, Crispin, maybe a counter catcher play. You can even sub opponents so you have a little bit more time. So wouldn't be surprised if that was able to win the tournament, although the best decks in the formats undisputedly are Gardevoir EX and Dragapult EX. So if you don't want to lose the tournament, you will have to test up against these matchups and know exactly what they are capable of and how you can beat them. Jamming Tower, definitely I would be including. Not only is it great against Gardevoir, it's also great up against Dragapult that are relying too much on these tool cards. Think about EXP Share, Defiance Band, all of that, a Rescue Board even. So Jamming Tower, the key pick card of the tournament, would even include one copy of that in the Tera Box deck if you want to test it out for yourself. And yeah, these are going to be my predictions. I will be playing Tera Box, and that would be my pick. If you're going to Milwaukee, what will win the tournament? Let me know down below in the comment section, and let's take a look in a couple of days if your prediction is right. So let us talk about this. And if you put a deck higher or lower up on the list, which one would it be? Or is it even a deck that is not included in this tier list that you want to be talking about? Let me know down below in the comments as well. As always, If you enjoyed the video, let me know. It helps out a ton if you would, destroy the hell out of the like button with an Obsidian Flame Shenanigans attack, and it helps out. Go check out the sponsors. They make the videos possible. DragonShield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. Use the coupon ZABLUES5 and get 5% off your order. TC Evolutions for your damage counters and ability tokens, 10% off. And then PotownStore.com for your TCG live code cards. You can get them with 5% off and instant email delivery. And last but not least, cardmarket.com for European players, where you're able to buy as well as sell cards to people all across Europe. Thank you all very much for watching today's video. Level up your game with TC Evolutions, breathtaking damage counters, special condition tokens, and ability markers, precision, style, power. Use coupon ZABLUESTCG for 10% off only at TC Evolutions. Alright, I will see you guys tomorrow with more Pokemon TCG content. Have a fantastic rest of your day and see you all then. Peace!